Hello everybody, my name is AJ Miklos. I'm the general manager in Charlotte, North Carolina, and today I'm here to make one of my all-time favorite recipes, Rigatoni alla vodka with prosciutto and peas. Alright, so the first step in creating this dish is to go ahead and cook the prosciutto. I've gone ahead and got the pan hot. I personally like to use cast iron, just retains the heat very well when you're cooking. So we're going to add the oil and then go ahead and immediately add the prosciutto. So I did have this sliced at the deli. Sometimes you can save a little bit of money rather than buying it pre-packaged, but we did go ahead and get this thinly sliced, because once this crisps up and we go ahead and chop it up, it'll just ensure it spreads across the dish very evenly, and you'll ensure you get prosciutto in every bite. All right, we've been cooking this prosciutto for about 2.5 to 3 minutes now. This is the consistency we're looking for. It's gonna be nice and crispy. We're just gonna go ahead and put this off to the side. If you have some paper towel at home or some parchment paper, just go ahead and set that on that. And we're gonna go ahead and let this cool down a little bit at room temperature before we chop that up and add it into the final product. So the next step in the process is to go ahead and start our vodka sauce. Well, we've gone ahead and drained out the prosciutto juice, and we're gonna go ahead and we cooled off the pan as well. We're gonna go ahead and put 3 tablespoons of butter in the pan. The reason we want the pan to cool off is so when we put the butter in, it doesn't burn it right away. So we're gonna go ahead and get that melted. And by the way, this is cooking at a medium heat as to not burn the butter. And then the next step is we do have a medium-sized shallot, which is minced, and then 3 cloves of garlic. And this is gonna cook for about 2 minutes or so, again on medium heat, as to not burn it. We're gonna go ahead and brown that up. Now that we've had the garlic and shallots cooking for about a minute right now, this is the consistency we're looking for. It's getting nice and browned up, but obviously don't want to overcook that. So the next step is to go ahead and add our 3/4 of a cup of tomato paste. Now I'm sure a lot of you are thinking that's pretty unique to have the base of a vodka sauce with this, but really this is a lot of concentrated flavors right now, and it's also going to add to the smoothness of the sauce after we add the cream. So we're going to go ahead and get all that garlic and shallots incorporated and mixed into that tomato paste as to keep that from burning up. Now that we're waiting on this tomato paste to darken up just a little bit, we've gone ahead and put 6 quarts of water on the stove to go ahead and get that boiling. So when we add the pasta to that, we can quickly transition back to finishing up the sauce and folding everything in together. Now that we're about halfway there from this tomato paste darkening up, we're gonna go ahead and add 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Now that we have the consistency of the tomato paste, it's a little bit darker. We're gonna go ahead and turn the heat up just a little bit. And the next step to the process is gonna be to add 1/4 cup of vodka. Now we're gonna go ahead and incorporate all this together and make sure that we get all the nice brown bits scraped up with the vodka on the bottom of the pan, which is just gonna add extra flavor to the dish at the end. And we're gonna go ahead and turn off the heat. And from here, we're gonna go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of salt, which is a good bit of salt to cook the pasta in, but really this is what's gonna give the dish the saltiness we're looking for at the end when we use the reserved pasta water. So we are gonna add 1 pound of pasta. We're using rigatoni noodles today. You really can use any kind of tube pasta. It really goes great with this sauce because it fills the outside of the tubes and gets the inside as well. I always recommend great brands like Di Cecco. Just a much better quality product. For $1 more, I really think it enhances the dish. So through this process of the pasta cooking, you simply just want to follow the instructions on the back of the box. This particular brand of pasta wants you to cook it for about 12 to 14 minutes. We're right about there where the pasta is al dente, so we're gonna go ahead and take 1 cup of reserved pasta water and just simply set this aside. Now that our pasta's cooked, the next step is to simply strain this out And with this particular dish, it's very important that we do not rinse the pasta off. We want it to keep its starchiness, so when we go ahead and fold this into the sauce, it's gonna stick better to the noodles. So now that we've drained our pasta, we're gonna go ahead and turn our tomato paste mixture back on to medium-high here. And we're simply gonna add 1 cup of frozen peas. And that pancetta we cooked earlier, we just went ahead and chopped up. And go ahead and incorporate all of this together. And basically just warm this up and kind of thaw these peas out. We've been letting this cook for about 30 to 45 seconds right now to just warm this up. So the next step we're gonna do is go ahead and add 2 cups of heavy cream. And right after that, we're gonna go ahead and mix in about half of the reserved water from the pasta. We're gonna keep the other half. We may use it, we may not. All that is gonna be there is to fold into the pasta once we add the noodles, just in case that sauce has a little bit too thick of a consistency to you. You can go ahead and add a little bit more pasta water to that. But that's just gonna kind of help emulsify this whole sauce and bring it together. So we're gonna go ahead and mix this up really good. And keep in mind the tomato paste is very thick, so usually I have to kind of work at this for about 30 seconds or so. Get this nice and stirred up. At this point, now that the sauce is mixed together, we're gonna go ahead and add the freshly grated Parmesan cheese. You can use pre-grated, but if you do freshly grate it yourself, just keep in mind, usually there's a lot of air in between, so you're gonna wanna pack that down to the 1/4 cup that this calls for. All right, that cheese has melted very quickly. We're just gonna go ahead and add the noodles here. Stir that up and go ahead and incorporate the fresh basil. At this point, we're gonna go ahead and just fold in the 2 tablespoons of freshly julienne basil. Now that we've gone ahead and mixed everything up, I really like the consistency of the sauce, so we're not gonna add the rest of that reserved pasta water. We're gonna go with how it is. And now it's time to plate. Now that we have it plated up, you can serve it as is, or if you wanna make it a crowd pleaser, I always recommend to put some fresh shaved Parmesan cheese on top and top it off with a little pinch of basil to give it some color. And there you have it. Rigatoni alla vodka with prosciutto and peas. Thank you very much for joining us and watching the video today. We hope you enjoyed it.